Hey guys, AJ here. So Dune Part 2 is almost upon us, and I'm just wondering if Dune as a whole has the potential to be the next big cinematic franchise. So we haven't had one, a new one anyway, exactly for quite a while. Uh, there's just been so many sequels and sequels and sequels. I could see Mission Impossible maybe being one of the next franchises because like it seems to be each three movies follow one story route, like the first three Mission Impossible, then one through three, four through six, and stuff like that is its own stories. Go watch Mission Impossible 4 through 6, by the way, some of the best action movies ever made. But maybe 7, 8, and 9 will be its own thing, start a sort of quote unquote new franchise. But the only one that I think actually has potential is Dune, because the movie theaters are just filled with sequels and prequels and stuff, and like there's just so much of the same stories that we've heard a million times over. I think everybody's ready for some new stuff. So I think Dune does have potential to be something big. I think part 2 is going to cover the last of the first book, right? So I know there's a bunch of other books and stuff as well. I don't know if they'll continue. I know the other books aren't quite as popular, as well received as like the main first one, the story that these two movies are going to tell. I'm pretty sure it's two movies. It might be three. From the trailers though and everything, it looks like I've read the book. It looks like it's just going to be two movies, but we'll just have to wait and see. So let's just talk why I think Dune has the potential to be the next major cinematic franchise. So the casting for this movie is like really good. Well, both Dune movies is really good. You know, Jason Momoa, Timothy Chalamet. I don't know however you pronounce it. Zendaya. Really looking forward to seeing. Oh, what's his name? Christopher Walken as the Emperor. You know, Dave Bautista. Lots of good, well-known actors. Florence Pugh, as well. And in the first movie, they all did a great job with their characters. Like none of the acting felt cheesy. It was very serious, down to earth. That's what Dune is. It's very serious, down to earth sort of sci-fi based a lot on like the dark future of humanity. We're not quite like Warhammer 40K levels of like human destruction and evilness and stuff like that, you know, but it's still like I think it's 102nd century or something like that. So just it's not a fantasy sci-fi, sort of like Star Wars is. Star Wars isn't exactly based with like Earth and stuff like that and humans and the world as we know it. Like even space works differently in Star Wars. So the whole premise and just the world building and everything is so good in the movie and the book as well. Like, you know, that's the thing. You can read the book if you want the extra stuff. The movie portrays everything that like is just necessary, which I've read the book and in my opinion it does, you know, like why are shields so important? Why don't people just use guns and shoot at each other? Why is this spice stuff so important that people are wanting? Stuff like that. What is the voice and everything? You know, great world building. I'm not gonna delve into like major spoilers or anything like that for either of the movies because I don't know if somebody hasn't seen any of them. This might be the first thing they see. Go, go watch Dune. It's a great movie. As for how successful part 2 will be, I'm not exactly sure. So the first Dune didn't make crazy amounts of money or anything. It was like 160 million to make, close to double it for marketing and everything like that. You're looking at a around 350 million dollar movie, probably 300. I didn't see the original advertised as much. So it still made like 400 million dollars total, so that's like a probably 80 to 100 million in profit, which is all right. It's not like crazy or anything, but I'm kind of shocked at how well it didn't do because I heard everybody talking about this movie when it was released. Everybody was going to see it because they wanted part 2. Maybe it's just audiences weren't returning to it because it is just a part 1 movie. You know, you got to wait for the second part. I know I don't know if it's just movie fatigue or whatever. I can't remember what exactly was out at the same time. Like I think Mission Impossible, the seventh, suffered from it. That movie flopped, unfortunately, because I've heard it's really good. I haven't seen it. I like all the other Mission Impossibles. I'm bringing that up again in a Dune video, but So even if it does make around $100 million in profit or so, I think that's still good. That's still a success in my book and in most people's book. And it looks like so far part two is going to do better financially just because there's not really other movies coming out this year. So, and this is a slot end of February, not really much anything. I don't think there's going to be much people going to watch, what is there, like Madam Web or Argyle or stuff like that. The main draw is definitely going to be Dune. I made sure, to buy tickets in advance so that I could see the movie opening day and get my review out, as soon as possible. Got to get that sweet, trending view time subscriber things. Anyway, but tickets are already selling out fast, at least where I am. Like, a couple of the showings in, like, multiple theaters near me were already sold out for opening day, which I was really shocked at because that doesn't happen too often with movies. So I think that this is on track to be, hopefully, a major success. Another great thing about this movie is there's no major warning signs so far. At least I haven't seen any. There's a couple things like Marvel movie will be announced, or like, even like most recently with Star Wars and like the Rey movie and stuff like that. They'll announce it, and then the companies behind it have to go running their mouths about being preachy and stuff, and people are like, oh no, red flags, or comic book movies, going off and doing their own thing. So far, they're sticking to the source material really well, at least in the first one. I think they're going to do the same. Only thing, maybe, I saw a couple people complaining about, oh gosh, I'm going to mispronounce her name, and it's something so simple. Chaney, I think it's just Chaney, being a fighter and stuff like that. I got no problems with that at all. I don't have any issues because she's a Fremen, raised a Fremen. You read the book. They're all raised to be like, you gotta fight to survive, especially if, like, in part one, you can just say, like, hey, LOL, we have a disagreement over what to eat for lunch. I'm going to challenge you to death. And they're just like, okay, that's fine. So everybody's got to be fighters. No issue with that. And it doesn't seem like they're deviating from the source material, which is good. It shocks me at how many movies and franchises there are that will make something. I'm looking at you, Star Wars and Marvel. They'll make something that just deviates from the source material. And the source material is proven to work because the franchises are successful, so why do you change it up? Like, you have a working thing. It's like saying, hey, I'm giving you this working tool right here, use it well, and you're like, no, I'm gonna go make my own tool for this situation, because clearly I know better. No, you don't know better. Stick to the source material, and it seems like this movie is doing just that. So in conclusion, as long as the movie sticks to the source material, I think audiences are very, very interested. I think it's good that I'm noticing the first Dune is going back to theaters, again, getting some more people interested, because there was a long gap between the first one and then now. I know they didn't film them back to back because they weren't sure if it was going to be successful or not, like a dark thinking man's sci-fi going into the theaters, when we've got Star Wars and Marvel, lighthearted kind of comedy, action comedies and stuff like that. Not all that much action is in Dune. This one's going to be a lot more action-packed, though, as far as I can tell from the book and everything. So I think that'll be another big draw, because audiences love their action scenes. So, good cast. As long as they stick to the source material, they should be good. You better believe that I'm going to go see the movie day of. I don't know if I'll get my video out, like, on the 29th. That's when my ticket is. Don't think I'll get it because I'm not able to go until like 6 o'clock in the evening, because I think it's technically the day before it releases. I don't know. I'll get my review out pretty soon and let you guys know. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate the support on my recent other movie videos and stuff, like the Star Wars ones so far. I don't know, might go revisit some older movies, take a look on stuff that's new. There's not too much interesting happening this year, so maybe I'll just make a couple lists going over, like, if you're a Star Wars fan, you'll like these movies, or if you like action movies, check these ones out. Because I feel like there's so many older movies that people just forget about, not really in the main audience's attention, and we're starting to see reruns of older movies because, like, the theaters need the money and everything, so showing old films that people know are successful just to get some is good. So maybe if you happen to see one of those movies that I talk about in the theater, you'll go and see it. Anyway, I do the longest outros ever. Sorry about that. That's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Bye.